the changing world we find ourselves in. Now, you have to understand, I personally know what's happening in the world. I know the decline. I knew what was going to take place. That's one reason why I moved way out to the country almost 20 years ago. I'm not saying that this place is a place of refuge, but it is to me spiritually. Not only that, I have angels of the Most High that actually guards this place for us. And when the time comes, because we fear Him and keep His commandments, He's going to protect us, the righteous. Jesus told us clearly, and we're watching morality just simply just fall and tank in this country right here. Jesus told us, He said unto them, now, in what place soever you enter into a house, there abide till you depart from that place. And then He says this. Listen to what He says. Mark 6, verse 11. And whosoever shall not receive you. Hear that? It's not talking about the people in the world. It's talking about you that carry this good news, this word. And that's a lot of people don't receive it because I carry the good news. They may not like my delivery. They may not like my attitude. But the bottom line is I deliver a pure word. Not like they're accustomed to hearing it. But they can't condemn it. No, people make a bunch of noise about my delivery. The way that I talk. Whew, they ain't like John the Baptist either. And they definitely didn't like any of the prophets because every single one of them all got killed or stoned simply because the people didn't like the way they talked. Well, I'll be damned. Isn't that something? Whosoever shall not hear you, nor whosoever shall not receive you, nor hear you when you depart thence, shake the dust under your feet for a testimony against them. Verily I say unto you, it shall be more tolerable for Sodom and Gomorrah in the day of judgment than for that city. Woo! And they went out and they preached that men should repent. And that's what I'm doing. I'm preaching that people should repent. But people ain't thinking about that. But they will come the day of judgment. And it is going to be more tolerable. The United States of America is nothing but Sodom and Gomorrah. That's all it is. But check this out. I'm just going to hit just a few things here. Just headlines. I'm not even going to spend a long time with it because you already know what it's about. Look what it says. A wheelchair. This is up in, I believe, in Toronto. Yep, Toronto Sun. A wheelchair can become just a big sex toy. Toronto to host massive orgy for, look at this, disabled people. Toronto is going to hold a massive orgy for disabled people. Yeah, sure it is. Look what it says. It could be one of the sex's final frontiers. In what may be a world's first, Toronto to host an accessible orgy for disabled people, reports the Toronto Sun. The deliciously disabled sex night will take place in a theater in the Canadian city. The capacity for this event is 125 and is open to disabled and able-bodied people. Interest cost, look, this is $20, though caretakers can get in for free. And there will be an interpreter for the deaf and space for 20 wheelchairs. The orgy is an X-rated ideal for disabled awareness consultant. Sheila, whatever her name is, the 35-year-old says that she thought of an orgy after becoming increasingly fed up with people assuming there must be something wrong with her libido just because she's in a wheelchair and she has spinal muscular atrophy. Ooh. And also, because of those who organize orgies do not cater for the disabled. Man, she says, the naysayers are just subconsciously hating the fact that people in wheelchairs are having great sex, better sex than a lot of people are having, she told the Sun. By making this party accessible, we are saying openly that people with disabilities are sexual beings. And notice, oh man, and not only in more conventional ways. You know what? And there's a picture of her right there. Man, I tell you. Woo! And then they turn around, they throw up a picture, apparently, who knows what, in bed with a wheelchair next to it. And I tell you, the people in this world just literally have gone crazy. And then here's another one called himself deliciously disabled. Can you imagine the kind of world that the children are growing up in today? And then those of us who think that this is literally appalling. On another tip and another note, if I can find it here for a second, and let me see if I can. Here's another tip and another note right here. Check this out. Becoming disabled by choice, not chance. And the new phrase is, or the new word for it is, transabled. Transabled people feel like imposters in their fully working bodies. Now, this is what it says right here. All right. And let me define this before I go, off in this article right here. What's happening is that people mostly in Germany, that's what I believe I read, Quebec, another place they're calling this, in Switzerland, men are taking chainsaws, utensils, and other things, and they're purposely coming disabled on their own. Let's see what this says right here. It's a National Post right here too, and guess where this comes from too? Canada. All right, look, Ottawa. When he cut off his right arm with a very sharp power tool, a man who now calls himself One-Handed Jason let everyone believe it was an accident. But he had for months tried different means of cutting and crushing the limb that never quite felt like his own. Training himself on first aid so that he wouldn't bleed to death, even practicing on animal parts sourced from a butcher. My goal was to get the job done with no hope of reconstruction or reattachment. And I wanted some method that I could actually bring myself to do it, he told the body modification website. Ooh, Jesus. His goal was to become disabled. People like Jason have been classified as transabled, feeling like imposters in their bodies, their arms and their legs in fully working order. We define transability as a desire or a need for a person to identify as able-bodied by other people to transform his or her body to obtain a physical impairment, says, this Alexander Burrell of Quebec-born academic who will present the transability at this week's Congress of Social Science and Humanities at the University of Ottawa. The person could want to become deaf, blind, amputee, paraplegic. It's really a strong desire. Researchers in Canada are trying to better understand how transabled people think and feel. Clive Baldwin, a Canada Research Chair in Narrative Studies who teaches social work at St. Thomas University in Fredericton, NB, has interviewed 37 people worldwide who identified as transabled. Most of them are men. About half are in Germany and Switzerland, but who knows of the few in Canada. Most crave an amputation or paralysis. Though he has interviewed one person who wants his penis removed and another wants to be blind. You know what? Before I go on with this, I'm going to tell you what this is. This is demons that are submitting thoughts to the collective subconscious of men's minds right here. And these are people who are entertaining thoughts. And these thoughts, basically, they end up becoming part of their own personality and volition because they have accepted them as their own voice. And you're not going to know this, especially if you're dealing with the religion of Christianity, because they have no solutions for the world's troubles and what's going on today. And so you have these disembodied spirits that are actually taking up residence inside of the human volition. Psych. And they're killing, stealing, and destroying. That's what the thief comes to do. And of course, since there are no laws on the books and the lands here, they don't know how to cope with spiritual warfare. It's always something that we need to better educate ourselves with in order to get an understanding of the suffering that these people are going through. Well, one thing about it is these transabled people, it's a reflection of the economy as well, isn't it? Because after all, if I can just go out here and mutilate myself by choice, then I can receive a government paycheck and I can sit on my butt and do nothing for the rest of my life. And of course, Now you got disabled people having orgies in chairs and stuff and all. I mean, we can go on and on and on and on and on with some of the things that are going on. Check this out. Up here in Buffalo, New York, WIVB4.com reports this. Look at this. Naked bike ride event coming to Buffalo. Naked bike ride event. Yeah, check this out. Bike riders without clothes are expected to convene on Queen City Saturday to shed light on what the event says is our addiction of consume, I don't know what that word is, non-renewable energy and other environmental human rights issues. This will be the first time that the World Naked Bike Ride will take place in Buffalo. Their website describes why they ride naked, saying, "We face automobile traffic with our naked bodies as the best way of defending our dignity and exposing the unique dangers faced by cyclists and pedestrians, as well as the negative consequences we all face due to dependence on oil and other forms of non-renewable energy." The World Naked Bike Ride takes place in cities all over the globe and have attracted tens of thousands of riders in the past decade. The ride is expected to start 7 p.m. Saturday at a yet undisclosed location in Buffalo, but they know where it is. Event organizers say the details will be revealed on their Facebook page. The route is expected to be 3 to 5 miles long. For those not wanting to be naked, body paint and riding in a bathing suit or your underwear is also encouraged. Skaters also invited. Organizers instruct the ride on Facebook page to obey police, but warn that those riding naked may be ticketed. Okay, may be ticketed. And boy, they'll fill up them jail cells real fast, wouldn't they? Chances are there ain't going to be too many people get ticketed. That's just something they put in there because chances are they went down and they obtained a license to do this. Could you imagine being a mother and father of principal and all of a sudden you're out and then next thing you know your child looks over and they haven't even seen their mother and father in a birthday suit, but they see all these people, men swinging and women jingling, ride butt naked down the street. What is that? What are they to expect in their unsuspected minds? What are they to think? I mean, when they see adults, children don't think too much about it when it's just them because they're just children. But when they see adults and stuff, they kind of look and they're wondering what in the world is going on. There's something spiritual that takes place. This to take place June 13, 2015 in Buffalo, New York. And of course, they're going to be every pervert and everything else out there wanting to sit by just to get their lustful eyes full. But, it's just showing you the lack of humanity and what's really, truly taking place in this country. That the religion of this country has failed greatly. And yes, I'm going to continue to keep on harping on this pagan satanic religion, which is the strong delusion that the Bible talks about Christianity. And I mean, I don't see none of you confident Christian preachers and teachers. You all know me. All your Facebook posts. I've even had a few professors of divinity to so-called challenge me. And then see what people do is they go back into my YouTube page and then they start doing research based on the information that I've already have put up. I've even had radio interviews where people want to come and debate me. And they think that when I make these videos, especially when I'm preaching and teaching, that they know everything that there is about me. And then they get confidence in thinking what they think they know about me. And then what they want to do is they want to have an open debate, so-called. It's always over the radio. It's never one of these civil discussions where we can get into an auditorium, kind of like the Democrats and the Republicans do. We can never do that right there. And people, won't show up. And it's amazing to be so much of a Christian country. That's what this country fancies itself to be, that people are so afraid of talking about Jesus. Yet they're confident in their belief. It's amazing, isn't it? I tell you, the spirit of anti-Messiah or the spirit of anti-Christ is running rampant in this land today. It's something else that when we're in the country now, people get more upset at the discussion of Jesus and personal beliefs of what you chose to believe because your book of the law constantly disagrees with the book of the law. And whenever your tradition, your personal feelings and emotions are challenged and stuff, you, because you have no intelligence, some of us out there, to articulate what your belief is because you just accepted what they told you, you get upset. Of course, your preachers and teachers and everybody runs scared and stuff. I'm going to tell you, the decline of this country, the reason why it's here and the reason why it's warranted today is simply because of the lack of morality that's being taught in churches after all. I mean, now they have a homosexual Bible out that's got a rainbow on the front of it. Of course, the founding fathers of this country made a grave mistake when they turned around and said that you've got freedom of religion in this country right here. You mean freedom to be Satanists, freedoms to be pagans and heathens, and that's the reason why. See, because there was an overwhelming majority of people in this country that were Christian. Well, now the Wiccans, the witches, the warlocks, and everything else, and every other noisome, hurtful, wicked religion is all flexing their muscles. And I keep telling you, we're falling right on the heels of Rome. If I said it once, I said it 1,000 times. Can you imagine what this country is going to look like in 10 years? I'll tell you what it's going to look like in 10 years. Those of us who are what I call normal, we are going to be the minority and the abnormal. And those who are functioning after an alternate conscious, they're taking over. And boy, they sure are militant, ain't they?